because maybe they're going to need someone that have this ability to speak really well in Japanese. Yeah, that can be one problem.
We don't really care how people bring their backpack or how we sit down first or not, but
Or you give your name card.
yeah, or put name card on the table. Hi SUGEE people, welcome back to SUGEE podcast. I'm Christy, your host for today, and today on our show we will have a special guest, Mr. Wiandono Saputro, an Indonesian software engineer who is working in one of the Japanese IT companies in Osaka, Japan. Today, Wian will join me in this podcast by sharing his past experience when he was working as an intern in Japan. So, stay tuned, guys!
Welcome back to SUGEE Podcast.
Hello, Wian. Thank you for joining me today in this SUGEE podcast.
Hello.
I'm sure that today's topics will be really interesting because there are so many SUGEE people out there that want to do an internship in Japan. So in last episode, we already have a really interesting interview with Mr. Haruki Morikawa, and he talked about the same topic too regarding the internship in Japan, but from the view of the Japanese companies. But today we will get another perspective from Wian, who did an internship in Japanese companies before. So Wian, could you tell SUGEE people about yourself?
Okay, thank you, Christy-san, for having me in this podcast. So, my name is Wiandono Saputro. I'm from Indonesia. I'm from Jakarta, to be exact, and I'm from Brawijaya University, software engineer students. I'm now 22 years old and currently working in Osaka, Japan. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you, and thank you for really great introduction. And so, Wian, could you share with me and SUGEE people out there
Okay.
about the procedure on how to get the internship in Japanese company?
Okay, so this is one of a few way that you can have an internship in Japan. One way is I'm actually helped by these organizations from my university. I think it's a global organizations. So this may be available in your university. This is ISEC. So they have this kind of programs that you can find and apply for a global internship. So not only Japan, but all around the world. Maybe a lot of people know ISEC from their volunteer activity, but actually they also have this paid internship programs that you can apply. This one, and another one is that you can actually find the company. You can find the company by yourself and try to apply for their internship via contacting their email address, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So there are two procedures. So first is using the program for the
Yeah.
organization.
By your university.
Yeah, in your university, and the second one is you can like find the company directly and
Yeah.
apply it by yourself.
But make sure that you know that this company is not a really conservative company, because it will be hard for you to join an internship in a conservative company, because maybe they're going to need someone that have this ability to speak really well in Japanese. Yeah, that can be one problem for
Okay.
some people.
So you should think about
Yeah.
think about whether the company you want to enter need you to speak Japanese or not.
Yeah,
SUGEE
you need to
people.
research very carefully about the company.
And then, what kind of visa you've been used as an intern?
When I'm doing my internship, I'm using a student visa. So actually, if you want to do internship in Japan, you need to have the status as a student. So you're not allowed to be graduates first if you want to have an internship in Japan. So that one thing that you need to take note, because it's going to be hard for you to do an internships without a student visa. It's not impossible, it's possible, but maybe you need to do some extra steps.
Okay, so you can use student visa if you want to have internship in Japanese companies,
Yes.
SUGEE people. And what is the biggest challenge for you,
Challenge.
Wian,
Okay.
when you do the
Internship.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually when I'm doing my internships, I was not doing it alone. There's actually a team of us, a team of the intern, that consists of different people from different country. One of them from Brazil, one of them from Singapore, another one from Russia, another one from German. So it's a pretty broad, different kind of people there that you going to work with. It's kind of difficult at first for me to have a discussions with the team, because the cultures is kind of different with Indonesian. There's no Japanese actually in there. There is one, but in the middle of the internships, they moved to a different team. But yeah, that may be the biggest challenge for me at first.
And how did you overcome them?
Overcome the problems. It's actually you need to try. It doesn't really matter whether you're doing it wrong or not. Just try. That's the number one thing that you need to do, because if you're not trying to do it, there's no way that you're going to overcome anything, right? Yeah, so you need to try. Just don't be afraid to make problems. Yeah, this is your chance to encounter such kind of problems, to move forward.
Yeah, it's really important. So I think not only Japan, every countries in the world have their own uniqueness.
Yeah.
So you should learn first about your destination countries first. If you really want to come to Japan, SUGEE people, you can learn a little bit about Japanese culture or Japanese language. At least you can say hi in Japanese, greetings.
Simple greetings.
Yes, really simple greetings, because truthfully in Japan there's not so many people can speak English. So you should at least have a really easy conversation.
Yeah, it's going to help you in your daily life.
Or greetings in Japanese. So before you getting the internship in Japan, you should at least learn a little bit about the language and culture first. And then Wian, can you share with us what the thing do you wish you had known when you do the internship in Japan?
Okay. The one most important thing is the culture. I hope I know it better, how to approach people, how to that sometimes in Japan people can react differently in different situations, like when you want to ask for help, when people help you, how you should react, something like that. I hope I know that one before I'm coming here. And then it's the daily life. It's out from the internship. It's when you actually survive here in Japan. It's like how you get your food, where you can get it, whether it's affordable or not, how can you make it affordable, something like that. Yeah, it's really important.
So, yeah, not only language and culture, you should like find out like how to live.
How to live, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not just doing internship, you also live
Yes,
here.
yes. So SUGEE people also because before you guys choose to do the internship in Japan, you should find out like how can you live there, like where is the places, where is the location of the company first,
Yeah.
and then what kind of situation there, and in where you can find cheap things, or
Yeah.
what is the transportation
The
will you
commute, yeah.
use to commute, and yeah, you should get familiar with the situation first and make a plan before you're coming to Japan.
Yeah.
And then SUGEE people, there's also one thing I really curious of, like, so Wian, what is the biggest surprise you've had during this time, and why?
Okay. During my internships, the biggest surprise is actually I had it the very first time I arrived in Japan, because I already familiar with the cultures, Japanese cultures from like anime and stuff, and there's kind of like this image of Japan in my head that I have after watching a lot of anime, and then so I kind of make my own expectations of what Japan's look like, and then when the first time I came here, it's like totally different. Like the people, the situations, and well, yeah, Japan is a really quiet place to live. Like compared to like maybe the media that you watch about Japan, they can be seem so cheerful and stuff, but actually it's pretty lonely in here, especially if you're a foreigner that you do not really have friends. That kind of can become a problem. So yeah, that's the biggest surprise. That's I have this kind of expectations of me about Japan. That's actually not true.
So SUGEE people, Japan is different with anime or dramas you guys that you guys always watch with, like, yeah, so don't believe whatever you see on anime, because it's really different.
Just don't put your expectations too much about
Yeah,
it.
don't put your expectation too much, because of course if there's something good, there's also something bad.
Yeah.
And everything is balanced. I mean, like, yeah, Japan is really great country with really.
It is.
Yes, really good infrastructure, but there are some things that also we can view as the lack, something lack in Japan, like maybe the attitude of the Japanese toward the foreigners is still like closed, because I think this is the
Maybe some people can find it as racist, but
Yeah.
it's not. Nowadays, it's not that common anymore. Yeah.
Nowadays, Japan is more open,
Yeah.
to the foreigners. So don't be afraid.
They're starting to kind of
Yeah.
feel okay with foreigners. At first, like this happens a lot to me, since my skin color is kind of different with them. So whenever I ride the train and I sit in I think it's not. I don't know. You can view it in different perspectives. People kind of look at you, and then they doesn't want to stay near you. If they can avoid, they're not going to be like in your proximity, something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's also kind of surprised me at first, but yeah, it just happened, and I just like, okay, maybe it happens, something like that.
Because This is because of the impact of the Tokugawa shogunate policy before. So,
Okay. What is that about?
yeah, so Tokugawa shogunate have the close countries policies in that time.
The time when Japan.
Yes,
Close
under
countries.
shogun. So before the Meiji Revolution, Tokugawa shogunate really hate foreigners. So they closed every borders in Japan. Like they don't want Japanese get in touch with the foreign.
rest of the world.
Yes. Because he always thinks that something comes from outside Japan is bad, and the shogun, the shogun. Really, in that time, shogun is not really friendly towards the Christianity.
Okay.
When I forgot. So before, if you guys know, there are some case about this in the Nagasaki. Maybe you guys can find out via Google. But this policy impact the Japanese society until now. Yeah.
So it's kind of impactful.
Yes. But of course, because of the change of the situation, now Japan is more open. But maybe in 1990, around the bubble economics things, they still have this kind of mentality. But now they are already open. And okay, then back to the internship in Japan. So, Wian, do you think the Japanese companies really welcoming the foreign interns?
Yeah, it depends on your company actually. If it's like a multinational company, they will open because they already know this idea of people working together from different backgrounds and stuff. But if it's like a really conservative company or Japanese company, like to the core, maybe it's going to be a little bit hard for you. But they're not. The idea of Japanese people closing their country is not that common anymore because of the situations with their economy and their populations and stuff. So they're starting to be more open with people outside of Japan. So yeah, actually they're going to open people, more open to people.
Open to the world. And did you get any obstacles to get accustomed to Japanese work culture?
Work cultures.
Yes.
Yeah, especially I think everyone will at the first time because we bring our own cultures here. So especially with the time, Japanese people is really strict with their time. But not in my country, so I need to be more the punctuality. Punctuality. No, I remember the words. So it's really hard for me at first, but then what you need to consider, what you need to remember is that you need to adapt to the cultures, not the other way. So it's not going to be hard as long as you try to be one with the cultures. Try to accept, try to not judge it at first, and be positive.
Yeah, everyone like have really unique. I think like unique, not identity, but like attitudes towards other people, or like custom or culture, something like that.
Sometimes that you find normal in your cultures can be seen as like rude or weird in different countries. So you need to be careful about that.
Yeah, it's really great. Great suggestion. And then, do you have a unique or like shocking? Really shocking experience or culture shock during your stay in Japan?
Okay. So at first it's about the people interactions. People from my country is like really friendly toward strangers. Like if you met some new people, like in the trains or in the streets, you can just talk with them and be friendly in no time at all, right? But in here, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So it's kind of hard at first for me when I need some help with something, whether it's about asking for directions, or when you're in the supermarkets and you want to know where's the sections of something. It's kind of hard at first to approach the people. Everyone's kind of have like their own zone. It's really hard to break it, but yeah, it comes with practice, man. The more
Everything
you know,
comes
yeah,
with
everything
practice.
comes with practice.
Yeah. By the way, Japanese people tends to make the group their own group. For example, this group is coworkers. This group is neighbor.
Oh yeah, they kind of
This group is friend, but not really close. This group is close friends, and they tend to like differentiate on each. So they will like have really different attitudes towards each of groups. For example, they tend to really timid on the coworker groups, but really friendly on the close friends group, something like that. Yeah, and for Japanese, being coworkers means not friend.
Coworker is coworker, right?
Yes. So you should make a borders between friends and coworkers.
You need to be careful with that.
Yeah, and the neighbor and friends. Neighbor also not friends. I'm so confused actually in this terms. But yeah, my husband is Japanese, and we always have discussion in this kind of things, and it's really interesting on finding out on how they think. Like because for me and Wian is from Indonesia, and for Indonesia everyone is friends. Even some
you can be friends with
strangers
everyone.
you meet in the station just 1 minute ago, it's already friends. But for Japanese, they make the differentiation between friends, co-workers, neighbors, close friends, someone you met in some event, something like that. And they tend to not cross the border. So if that person already consider you as a co-workers, then it's only co-workers, guys. It will not move as friends. Only if you like have any special connection or special something that triggers the event.
Something need to be
happening. Yes. Maybe you can move to the friends.
Different stage.
To the friends
of the friendship.
Yeah, so that's how you approach Japanese. You should think about that also. And then Japanese have like the custom, like every Japanese already know, but not foreigners know. Like for example, when you get the name card from Japanese, you should put it on the table with the name card facing you.
Okay.
It's considered rude if you put it on your wallet or on your bag, or just put whatever. You should put it on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just learned that before. Like, for me it's like, what?
That's something that people need to find out by themselves. There's not like someone's going to tell you about that directly. Unless you experience it.
Yes, it's kind of business etiquette here in Japan. And like, you cannot sit down before the owners of this building sit down first.
Okay.
So if you are the guest, you should wait for the owners to letting you sit down, or if they sit down first. Okay. So you should just like waiting, standing. Yeah. That's also business etiquette in Japan. It's, for me, it's not really important, but for Japanese it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful with that thing.
Yeah, be careful with that thing. Oh, even how you put your backpack also. There's
What?
rules.
Seriously?
Seriously, that's a rule.
I know that in some restaurants they have like a basket that you can use to put your luggage there, like your bag or something.
So if you have a meeting, for example, with the Japanese partners or other Japanese customers or something, before you go enter the meeting room, you should take your backpack first and then bring it down like this, like using your hand, lifting using your hand and put in front of you like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's considered rude if you go entering the meeting room with the backpack on your back.
Okay.
It's rude.
Okay.
That's also one of Japanese business etiquette that I learned.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned a lot today.
Yeah, SUGEE people, you can think about that also. So in Japan, there's something
There's a lot of customs.
Customs that we think that not important, but it's really affecting the Japanese view on you.
It doesn't
Your
even
image.
exist with such of customs in Indonesia, right?
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't really care.
Yeah, we don't really care how people bring their backpack or how we sit down first or not, but
Or you give your name card.
or put name card on the table. But it's really important for Japanese, so please consider about that also, SUGEE people, if you want to get internship in Japan. And last question, Wian. On a scale 1 to 10, what scale you recommend SUGEE people to get the internship in Japanese?
Internship in Japan. If you really want to get this like a really different experience, I'll say it's really recommended for you to go to get an internship in Japan. Especially if you already have this kind of attachments, like you're interested with Japanese cultures, whether it's anime or manga, or you just like the cultures itself. You want to learn the language, because if you really want to practice your language, if you dare to come here and try to use it every day, then you're going to be good at it in no times. So maybe if you're really interested in Japan, you want to come to Japan, it's 9 out of 10.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but
super recommended.
Super
to the
recommended
people.
for you. But if you just know about Japan and kinda, it's like not so interested, but not like you doesn't want to come to Japan. I still kinda recommend it, at least to know the cultures. It's like some people say that it's a different world. It is. You're not going to know unless you come here. Not as a tourist, but as people that live here, because it will be different.
So
what? 7 out of 10.
Okay, 7 out of 10 for the SUGEE people who still think whether should I go or not, kind of doubting. But if you SUGEE people that already have like attachment and interest in Japan, maybe you can just go, because it's 9 out of 10.
Because if you're already interested in Japan, it's going to be easier for you to accept their cultures and stuff. But if it's like you don't really know their cultures, and it will be a little bit hard for you to accept it, especially if you keep compare it with your country. It's going to be different. It's going to be hard.
Okay, thank you so much, Wian, for today, and I will make a conclusion for our today podcast. So, SUGEE people, if you guys really interested in to get the internship in Japan, the procedure is easy. You can get help from the organization like ISEC and apply for their program in global internship. And the second method is to find company directly So you can just like googling out like what kind of company in Japan that needs foreign intern, and make sure about the companies first, whether they need you to speak Japanese or not, whether the culture is conservative or not. You should find out first. And then the things important also is learn the language, customs and cultures first. So you should get used to and should get accustomed to Japanese customs, because there are so many unwritten customs every Japanese knows but foreigners don't know. And if we don't follow that unwritten rules, we will get really bad image on our first impression. Something like that. So you guys, you should learn about the cultures also, and at least from the Wian, the one who already got internship in Japan, he really recommend you SUGEE people to try to get the internship in Japan. Okay, so SUGEE people, that's all for today's episode of SUGEE Podcast. Thanks for listening, and thank you to Wian for joining me today.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And then join us again next week, because we will talk about working in Japan 101. Ooh, really interesting. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube, so you never miss an episode. For your information, if you are interested to have an internship in Japan, SUGEE Kasai has a consultation service called SUGEE Internship. If you are interested in what we do, you can stop by our website at sugee.gp, SUGEE.gp. Thank you, and see you in the next episode. Bye!
Thank you for listening to SUGEE Podcast. Subscribe our channel and turn on notifications. We provide services for businessmen and professionals who work in Kansai. Arigatou gozaimasu.